What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham Jason Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network, and today we're talking the December 14th, 2020 edition of Raw Talk, the final episode before the TLC pay-per-view on Sunday. Now, I'm not sure about anyone else. I watched Raw late last night, but I thought the show was absolutely abysmal. And the weird thing is that I look at the TLC card on paper, and honestly, there's a couple of matches, if not most of the card, that I'm looking forward to. I know these are SmackDown matches, but Sasha Carmella had a decent match last week on SmackDown. That could be decent. Specifically, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. That should be great. AJ and Drew, first time ever. That should be great. The Asuka, Nia, Lana, Shayna shit I don't give a fuck about, but, you know, like the Hurt Business and the New Day I think could be really good. Orton and Fiend, I don't know, but the build has been intriguing. But Raw recently, aside from the Orton and Wyatt stuff, has been completely fucking terrible. And not the worst shows of the year, but they're inching closer and closer towards that, towards earning that title. I have seen worse Raws this year, but I thought last night's show was a complete and utter dud. And Raw Talk, while not terrible, was far from exciting either. I continue to say this every single week, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but Talking Smack is far superior. Thankfully, though, as much as I don't like Charlie Caruso, R-Truth was not on the show this week, and I like R-Truth, but in the host role, as I've said many times before, it just doesn't work. The show just isn't, it may be entertaining from time to time, but as like a good talk show for people to really define their characters and develop their characters and further feuds and stuff like that, Truth is not a good fit for the show. Thankfully, he was not on the show this week. It was MVP instead, so Charlie Caruso and MVP hosted. Charlie tried to come up with a team name for them. This is so fucking cringy, because she calls her in R-Truth, Char-Truth, which she came up with herself, I think, or maybe a fan came up with it, like the one fan of Charlie Caruso and R-Truth on Raw Talk, and then she ran with it. She tried to come up with a team name for herself and MVP, maybe MVC. It was so fucking cringy. So thankfully they move right past that. MVP has no part of that bullshit. They recap the ending to Raw that saw Miz, Morrison, and AJ attack Drew McIntyre. They recap the Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton stuff. MVP calls Bray Wyatt a very bizarre individual, and that's putting it nicely, as far as MVP's words are concerned. So Charlie says that there wasn't a clear winner between the two on Raw this week, even though The Fiend was the last match. I mean, there wasn't an actual match, but she said there wasn't really one definitive man that was the last man standing, even though there was. Because yes, Orton threw the Bray Wyatt character into the box and whatever attempted to light it on fire. The Fiend escaped from it and locked in the mandible claw on Orton and was the last man standing in that segment. So I'm not really sure what this bullshit where she's going, oh, there's no clear winner. This just goes to show that the insight from the analysts on these shows, specifically Charlie Caruso, I thought MVP here was fine. Caruso's just a fucking moron. And I'm sure it's not her fault specifically, it's probably just what they give her to say, but she comes across like a total idiot. Oh, there's no clear winner. The Fiend attacked Randy Orton and he was the last man standing. How is there no clear winner? So, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are on the show. Mandy is happy to be back. We haven't seen Mandy on the show in about maybe 3 weeks to a month, since I think the go-home show for Survivor Series, so probably about a month. Dana said that they were unstoppable before the injuries, which is not true, because yes, they won a couple of matches when they first came together at the end of the summer. What was it, September, October, I think they joined forces. That's not necessarily true, because they went on to lose a bunch of matches after that, specifically to the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I think they got a tag title shot and they fucking lost, so they weren't unstoppable by any means. But Mandy and Dana both teased filling in for Lana at TLC. So what happened on Raw this week? Dana faced Shayna. The match ended within a minute. Who fucking cares? Then Mandy came back. Lana came out. Asuka came out. Lana got attacked by Nia and Shayna, and they went after her leg. She got stretchered out in an ambulance, and now Lana apparently is out of the TLC match on Sunday, where they should all really be building to a tables match, and she's not. First of all, it's not a tables match. Second of all, she's not even in the match. I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense. So, Lana's no longer in the match. Dana and Mandy teased filling in for her and that they'll support each other no matter what, no matter who takes that spot. Which, I don't know. This is just one giant fucking mess. Why would you have Mandy or Dana in that spot? when they could just go for the tag titles themselves after TLC? Why would you take Lana out of the match, even though I don't give a fuck about Lana? Why would you take Lana out of the match when the entire storyline has been building to Lana teaming with Asuka against these two women? Maybe she'll be good to go before Sunday in storyline, but I just thought that made absolutely no sense. Is it a returning Charlotte? I mean, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit about Charlotte coming back and going after the tag titles with Asuka, the same woman who beat her in her last match on the show? I don't think that's what it's leading to, but who else could it be? Kairi Sane? Like, I don't think Kairi Sane's coming back. I don't know. This is just one giant mess. So, Elias comes on the show with Jackson Riker, who we saw debut as a duo this week on the show. They were on main event last week, but they were brought to Raw this week. And Elias talks about when he feels most creative during the day, night, whatever, spoken like a true artist. And Jackson Riker said, we don't really hear him speak a lot of the times, and I think that I've heard him more speak in the last 24 hours than I have during his entire tenure as part of the Forgotten Sons. But he says that he doesn't want to see Elias disrespected anymore. And he was once lost, but now he's been found. An MVP, he kind of asks, are you a stunt double or are you a bodyguard? And they don't really answer the question. The stunt double thing, I'm not really sure why he would be, because they look nothing alike. I thought it was more of a bodyguard type thing. But hey, AJ Styles has a bodyguard. He has a bodyguard. Now everyone has a fucking bodyguard. Why not? It's that time of the year again. So they talk about that, and that was really the end of that. So nothing really more was accomplished other than that, aside from hearing Jackson Riker speak a little bit. They then welcome on Bobby Lashley, the United States champion and co-business cohort to MVP. So Bobby Lashley talks about how Riddle disrespected him by stepping up to him. He's been disrespectful lately, and how he runs down the list of everyone who stepped up to them, and they've put down Apollo Crews, put him down. Ricochet, put him down. Jeff Hardy, put him down. And that Lashley has yet to celebrate his United States Championship win from 4 months ago. He goes home and he's preparing, he's training, he's getting ready for that match. I mean, he doesn't have a match on Sunday, does he? You would think they would be building the Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle, but they're not. I mean, maybe they probably are, but they're not doing it on Sunday, at least as far as I know, unless they're going to add it, or they probably will. I don't fucking know, but he's getting ready no matter what for a match that has yet to be announced, but he's getting ready and training and preparing for something that may happen on Sunday. I guess we'll see. And MVP says, listen, we took care of Retribution. We made a deal with the powers that be, that we took care of Retribution, then we would get our shot at the Raw Tag Team titles. And on Sunday, we're coming to collect. We're getting those Raw Tag Team titles from the New Day. And what he failed to mention was that they got their 2 tag title shots already against the New Day, and they fucking lost twice. So hopefully third time's the charm on Sunday. They win the Raw Tag Team titles. They kind of have to at this point, because if they don't win on Sunday, these guys are just absolute losers, which they shouldn't be. They aren't, but it feels like they will be if they lose again on Sunday. So hopefully that's not the case. But MVP says that, hey, if we take all the titles come Sunday, the United States Championship, the tag team titles, our dominance cannot be disputed. And that was kind of the note they ended on here. So I thought this was good stuff from Bobby Lashley. Elias and Riker stuff wasn't really anything worth writing home about. It was fine. And then Dana and Mandy were good, but like the whole Asuka, Lana, Nia, Shayna shit is completely fucking terrible. Like, where is Peyton Royce? Where is Lacey Evans? Where's Nikki Cross? Where's Alexa Bliss been? This Raw Women's Division is a complete mess right now, but the show is fine for what it was. Again, it was supposed to hype up the TLC pay-per-view on Sunday. It did its job in doing just that, just not a very good job. And again, it's a weird thing because the build of this pay-per-view, specifically in the Raw side, has been completely abysmal. But on the other end of the things, you look at the card for Sunday, and it actually has some potential. You look at, like I said before, Roman and Kevin, Drew and AJ, which feels like a complete afterthought at the moment, but you have that. The Raw Tag Team title match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Orton and The Fiend, which I'm not overly sold on, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see come Sunday whether the show delivers or not. I'm not sure if it will, but I mean, there's a couple of matches on the card that I'm looking forward to. I just don't think, as far as like Raw talk and Raw itself are concerned, they've done the best job of building up the card to feel as special as it should, which I guess is a fitting way of closing the year for Raw, just considering how lackluster the product has been, specifically the Raw stuff in 2020, but it is what it is. So check out the December 14th, 2020 episode of Raw Talk if you wish. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. And be sure to hit the bell button as well to be notified every time a new video goes up. Have a great rest of your week, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.